Hey, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm joined by Squeaks.
Squeaks!
He doesn't understand how hard it is to edit around all this. For those who are not watching, Squeaks, because we don't release this part in video almost ever, but well, maybe I'll pick up for it. Squeaks is now dressed up as Phantom of the Opera, which is
I am
one of my favorite soundtracks from any theater.
Really good.
Yeah.
But hopefully this doesn't give me as much of an issue as with the headphones as like the Peacemaker mask. But
yeah,
feeling a lot of pressure right here because there's a lot of pushing, on one side. So
we'll see how long
see
this
if I can
lasts.
get through the episode like this. Yeah,
We have a long one today too. This is not a short episode, so I'm really interested to see.
I saw those notes. I was like, what the? It's like I'm reading. What am I reading right now? Fire and Dragon, or whatever it is right now. God, House of Dragons, whatever it is. I forgot. Fire and Blood and Fire. Something like that.
It's all
Yeah, I'm
those
still powering
words and
through
then
it.
just George R. R. Martin
Still
on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm powering through that one right now. Still going strong. Still going.
Books. Okay, so Phantom of the Opera, here we go. It is a dope ass song. All right, let's kick off with our question of the week. So for our question of the week, this goes back to Aaron from Phantom Portals. They're going to be going over some movie flops that have like still good lessons in them. So I thought, what is your favorite flop? Could be movie or TV show. Let's start with you, Squeaks. What is a flop that you think is like deserves more attention?
See, I don't know if this is a flop because I feel like it does have the attention, but ratings wise, it wasn't very great. It was mid tier, and I'm gonna go with Hook, with Robin Williams, 1991.
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of basing this flop on. So it's kind of like what score wise, and on just the IMDb ratings, it's got a 6.8. So to me, that's like okay, I'm gonna wait until it comes out to streaming, type of movie. If this was released nowadays. But yeah, I'm gonna go because of the score. I'm gonna go with Hook.
Yeah, it was a flop at the time, which is crazy to think because it's a perfect movie. I don't know how the hell.
Yeah.
Who let that happen? Yeah. It was a flop at the time, and people were bad mouthing it and stuff like that. I think it's fantastic. It was one of the first ones we did over on Challenge Accepted, and I think for our age range, it's like that thing slaps.
Yeah. What you got?
For me, I'm going real left field, and I think you might have seen a couple episodes of it. Avenue 5 for HBO. It's a series that follows Hugh Laurie, which is Dr. House, as a captain of a cruise ship in space. It only
yeah.
It did 2 seasons. The first season was pretty well structured. The second season they kind of went even more crazy. And IGN did an article after it got canceled entitled HBO remembered to cancel Avenue 5. Like they forgot to get canceled after the first season. And I'm like, I'll admit the show is not great. But I just love the characters. I love how they play with each other. Everybody seems to be having fun. They do the wildest shit. They got a cannibal on the ship at one point. They're just the weirdest things. And I just liked the fact that it was like super fun and polished. It just had like incredible actors. And it was fun. It was weird, but it was fun. I admit it was weird.
Yeah, it's interesting because looking at the reviews for this thing, IMDb again is 6.7, Prime Video 6.7, but Rotten Tomatoes with a 78. So it's like, who's paying who, But I kind of liked it. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, and it it took chances, which is hard to do. And I left on planning on having a third season. It was so bad that I tweeted something nice about it back when the season 2 was coming out, and the creator of the show tweeted back to like, "Thanks for saying nice things," and stuff like that. I was like, "Oh, that's not good." That's not good.
Shit, that's funny.
But yeah, so that's my pick for you guys. You guys want something to watch? For this episode, we're gonna be talking with the interview for this week's gonna be Eliah Mountjoy. You guys know him as the Winter Soldier for Marvel Rivals. He's also done so much voiceover work and anime dubbing. We talk about what that is like when you're dubbing on anime, stuff like that. So check that out, guys. All the timestamps are in the description. News-wise, we're gonna be going over some Netflix announcements. Blumhouse acquires Something Is Killing the Children. We go about TwitchCon and the assault that happened there, Halo's big announcement, and California's big move. And we're going to be reviewing Gen V Season 2 and Welcome to Derry. Let's go ahead and get into the news, Squeaks. So, first off, Netflix is making a Catan film and series.
What?
Is that even possible? Like, what is that going to look like? What do you think?
Oh man, I don't know what it looks like because multiple Catan boxes consist of like different lores, right? Like Lord of the Rings, I think is one. Game of Thrones has one. So I mean, I guess it's so open to make any type of universe you want. I'm assuming obviously something fantasy like, but then it's like what is there a direction? I mean, when's the last time you even touched a Catan box?
I mean, I played a lot of
anything?
Catan. I mean, I not very long ago.
Yeah.
But the story of Catan is like trading sheep and land and stuff. So I'm like, how does that
Yeah.
equate to a full-fledged story? It kind of reminds me of like when they want to
Yeah.
make like a movie about Pepsi. And I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
lore to this thing, right?
Well, here's the diet version.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the villain of the series.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like it could go any direction because there's not that much of a story. It almost seems like just an open sandbox. I mean, is there something, since you said you played a lot of Catan, that you, I don't know, as a sheep seller would want to see on screen? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you want to take the Catan elements of bartering and stuff like that and throw that on top of a Game of Thrones. Like just add
Okay.
those
Yeah,
things to
yeah.
an already established fantasy story. Instead, they're gonna make an entirely wholly new fantasy story, and you're gonna see references to trading sheep and lumber and rock and what.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's gonna be, and they just need to use the name Catan. It's like, man, that's seems so stupid to me. At a certain point, like, yeah, I'm
most
gonna
definitely.
watch this, duh, because it's a new fantasy series. But damn, this feels stupid to me.
Yeah, goodness gracious. If there was a game that were to be developed by Netflix, what would be one that you would want to see?
Battleship. Like they did the movie,
Okay,
which wasn't
okay,
as bad as everybody
okay.
probably thinks it is.
Yeah.
But like an actual like World War II Japan versus the United States battleship game, I think that'd be sick. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Candyland. I think it's needed. It's definitely got the characters already on the board, ready to go.
That's true.
Vicious little licorice motherfucker that wants to try to slow you down. Like, no, bro, I'm getting the ice cream princess, whatever we're going. Tear some shit up,
I remember like in the
climbing
game.
these ladders, these shortcuts.
Yeah.
I think ultimately it'd be a hit when it comes to like just these animated family movies.
Yeah.
So I definitely can see that. I don't even know why, if that hasn't happened yet. There hasn't been anything.
I honestly, it seems like a slam dunk. Yeah, especially if you were to go kind of like a
seems easy
Alice in Wonderland feel for it too. Like you can really remember that.
I would love to see it as like a live action, like how Barbie did their thing.
Yes.
See a little bit of corporate side of it, kind of like pop in like Will Ferrell did. I don't know. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do and easy.
I think it would be
really.
Good. But as for Catan, I think it's gonna be very interesting. Before we go forward, I want to note a couple of things for people listening at home. This is what I'm looking at right now. First off, I got Phantom of the Opera in front of me. Secondly, he's clearly freezing his ass off because he's like bundled up. You keep like going.
I am.
You're rocking back and forth like you're freezing in that room right there. He built this thing into his.
I'm just amped right now, man. I'm amped.
That's what it is. We gotta chill out on the F-bombs. The last episode got actually dinged for being explicit because there's too many of them, and I forgot to take out all your F-bombs.
Not from me though. Not from me, right?
Yeah, it was from you.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like I've really been calming down lately.
I generally will remove them all or remove as many as I can. And I forgot to do it in that episode. So it was just all squeaks. And so we got a ding saying it was too explicit. And I was like, you're right.
These places are so soft. They put slot the E on it and let's move on. So,
this episode is E for everyone except for those who don't like bombs. All right. Netflix is also thinking about putting Stranger Things in theaters. I think this is a slam dunk idea, especially since the Duffer Brothers said that finale is going to be very cinematic. Like they filmed it like it's going to be a theater release, and it's going to be 2 hours long. And there's got to be something to hype people up because I think a lot of people just kind of forgot the Stranger Things story at this point. So I think this is a slam dunk move, and they should do it. It'll release on on New Year's Eve. So it was when it came out. Like that's a cool New Year's Eve activity too. What do you think?
Yeah. No, yeah, most definitely. And there's a lot of freaks out there like me when it comes to the Stranger Things fandom that would like to we're like getting together. So I'm getting together with some family members to make sure that we're watching it on such an inconvenience day. Like I think it's the day before or Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah.
To watch that first part. So it's like, oh, now we can actually just get together in like a big central location, right? Kind of like meet in the middle type thing. Cause obviously we're so much distance apart. Meet in the middle and actually still kind of enjoy this thing and make it more spectacular than it is just sitting in the living room, so why not, right? I think you're correct though, because this Stranger Things do need to wrap up. It's been too long since the last season and you're doing it in increments that something needs to happen. I mean, I guess you just got to have a really good recap, right? On the first episode, what do we got? Are you expecting people to go back and watch it all? I mean, I will as background noise. I mean, I thought for season 4, what could top season 3? Season 4 did. So, I mean, it could definitely be background noise.
I mean, it's an excellent series. There's no doubt, and I'm looking forward to it. But I'm just saying, like, for a lot of people, they don't even remember what happened in the last season. And so I think what we'll have to do is, because you're right, it's around Thanksgiving. It's weird to trip because it's releasing 3 parts. There's Thanksgiving. The second part's releasing on Christmas Day, and the next part's releasing on New Year's Eve. So they're kind of forcing their plans.
Yeah, it's like for that one person that just sorry if this is anyone that just has no one but themselves.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm saying
interesting.
Yeah, you know.
So interesting.
You have me, Frank. Don't look down.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be hanging out with Squeaks on Christmas Day. I forgot all about that.
So yeah, so at my house we have Stranger Things Doritos, we have Stranger Things plates, napkins, cups, Surfer Boy pizza. Like I'm ready to go, man.
Such an American, like that's such an American thing to do is like Stranger Things stuff. I gotta buy it. Not to talk shit because you know how much pumpkin spice garbage is in my house right now. So I'm not talking shit. Oh
gosh, yeah. Oh yeah, easy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, like I'm ready to go.
I think what we'll do is like mid-November, right before Thanksgiving kicks in. Maybe what we'll do is you and me will sit down. I'll rewatch the entire series too. And we'll just do like a recap so everybody knows what's going on for Stranger Things. And we'll use that as a separate video.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Maybe that one you could dress as 11. Huh? I'm thinking that would be a good one for you.
Do I have anything? I could. Shaved with the shaved head.
Yeah, that part I think you nailed. You know? Blumhouse, one of our favorite studios, just claimed the right for Something is Killing the Children. It's a very big comic book for Boom Studios. And they're going to be making a live action film and adult animation. Are you familiar with this comic book run?
Crazy. I am a little familiar with this. I have read the couple of the beginning issues.
Yeah.
And yeah, Something is Killing the Children. You know?
Yeah. So
what is that something?
It's one of those things where I'm in a comic book shop. I'm like, oh, you know what? I keep hearing good things. Let me pick up this issue. Let me pick up that issue. The art is always hella good. And so I've read a few of them. And then after this announcement, I went in and ordered the first omnibus, which is like 550 pages. So that's on its way right now.
Pretty wild. I'll have to go back and see if I got that first issue because my buddy at work, big comic guy I've talked to you about before, told me that he might think like this is the next big thing.
Yeah.
Crazy because I think I did get that first issue. So now seeing it actually like the prediction happen, it's pretty wild. It is definitely violent. It is like the feels of like a Stranger Things. And this Something Killing the Children, I mean, kind of semi-spoiler, it's not human. So it's very,
the children can see monsters that the adults can't. A lot of them vanished at one point. Some of them are back. So that's very weapons-esque. And I think that there is action moments that will lean closer to anime than like Stranger Things. I think action moments are not as actiony, but this is tailor-made for that, to where you have like these anime fight scenes essentially with Erica Slaughter. So this is about to be really dope as hell. And Blumhouse, I mean, they're fun to watch. They don't miss very often. I kind of have a bit of an A20. I know you're not an A24 fan, but I am. Where like when they make something, like, well, I'll watch it because they made it. You know, I think that's what they do with Blumhouse. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you have any casting suggestions for Erica Slaughter?
Oh man, way to put me on the spot.
I know it's like in the notes and everything, but
it is the notes that I accidentally deleted. Let's see. You know what? Scarlett Johansson. They throw her in everything.
Erica Slaughter's a kid. No?
It just makes sense. I know, but it just makes sense, right? So like, Scarlett Johansson is literally in every single character. Mother Gothel. Hey, we need someone to do it. Scarlett Johansson.
I would say Florence Pugh if you're gonna go a little bit older, but I think Florence Pugh is better than Scarlett Johansson.
I think if anything, I think she's a little older for this one, but I've seen her a lot in Florence Pugh. Really? Yeah, I mean she's long. Yeah. She's in Death Stranding 2. Obviously known for kind of known for Aurora and Maleficent, but I'm gonna go with Ellie Fanning.
Oh, Elle Fanning.
She's kind of been on my screen lately because again for Death Stranding 2. So it's maybe someone like her.
Yeah, isn't she doing Predator as well? She's doing the new Predator Badlands.
Is that who she is? Is that her? On the back of that Predator?
Don't mess me up, man. I think so. We're Googling too much on a podcast. Son of a bitch.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it because we have to correct ourselves.
Yes. She's from The Great. She is the main star of The Great. And she's in Predator Badlands. She's the one on the back. Don't look at me like that, Phantom. All right.
Wait until I start singing my words right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, then we're gonna really have our explicit and copyright and all that other fun stuff coming at us. I have to edit through it. Let's
Hey, like the Predator, not like Snoop Dogg. Come on. Or Phantom. God.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yes. Next up, we're gonna be talking about. So this is a serious. Let's change tones. You've been joking around too much. Emiru, a streamer, cosplayer, recently was at TwitchCon. Did you see the footage of her being assaulted at TwitchCon?
I haven't seen the footage, but I just been reading about it.
Okay, so what happened was, for those at home, she's got a meet and greet line, and some guy kind of like burges, whatever, gets through the meet and greet line, comes right up to her, and grabs her and forces himself on her for a kiss. He's then kind of like pushed away and shoved off, and then walks away comfortably, like nobody chases him or anything like that. Twitch's response to this was to ban the guy. There should be serious charges, in my opinion, filed for this. But looking at the situation, let's first off give context for what it's like when you're at a convention and you have celebrities around. I personally think it's way too easy to get a hold of these people. I was at Fan Expo last year, and I'm literally like 5 feet away from Frank Miller's table when he's sitting there signing things, and nobody was next to him. And and I remember at the time thinking, like, man, Frank Miller's a bit of an old man now at this point. He should have like a bodyguard or something like that protecting him. He's one of the biggest comic book writers ever. It's a little crazy that he's just like right here in the open in the middle of thousands of people. And I could see it being unsafe for celebrities. What are your experience with that?
Yeah, you're right. And it's something that I didn't think would ever happen because, it's just how many conventions go through and just nobody acts that ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
I think, what is she's trying to press charges on
Twitch.
The individual himself, right?
No, TwitchCon for not having protection around there. And their response was so, tepid.
Yeah.
And they didn't have enough security. Their only security in the area was her security guard that she had.
Yeah, man, I guess obviously the guy's ridiculous. That's crazy. I don't care who you are. Don't, try to get that close to somebody.
Yeah.
Without any type of like, relationship, or whatever. But is it something that's let's just say TwitchCon, this is a first time ever experiencing type thing. So is it I'll just say this, is it like a foul on them for not knowing, or is it like, hey, crap, this is crazy, we never experienced this before, going forward we will have additional security on all of our guests that seem to might have a line,
Yeah, that's a great point. I want to jump in real quick and say, like, people warned Emiru beforehand, other streamers, a few of them. She mentions it in her post discussion. They warned her, like, be careful, TwitchCon's getting a little dangerous. So this is clearly an issue for TwitchCon in the past, but I also want to widen the scope to, I think it's an issue as for conventions in general. I think it could be a little bit iffy.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, most definitely. So then it's like that, as long as we can use this as a learning experience and just make the event better, I think is what it happens, is what's needed. Anyone that's going to be meet and greets that potentially are like have a pretty big fandom should have that additional security. Because that's just insane. That I just saw the video and it's like, what are you doing?
And did you see the guy just kind of like walks away and it was like, what?
Yeah.
That's wild.
And I think that's like in everyone there, I'm talking about learning experiences, everyone that's there probably never even seen something like that ever happen before too. So on the spot, we're like, what the hell just happened? And now it's like, now it's known, right?
Yeah.
So now we can again, like, be more equipped for ridiculousness like this.
So additional security.
So I don't know.
Move. Yeah, but also like,
what
other boundaries could they put in place? I think the whole meet and greet thing is very iffy, right? Because for $50 you can meet Anakin Skywalker, and when you're next to him, who knows? Matter of fact, as we're talking about this, 2 other things happen. Emiru herself has another case going on, so I don't want to ignore that. We'll talk about that another time as that develops. But also the Backyard podcast. Gosh, I can't remember the exact name. One of them was on stage. They had guests come on stage, and they were doing like a little game with them. And a woman just like grabbed this guy's name's Frank. It's a very sexy name, very handsome name.
Yeah.
But a woman just like grabbed his genitals up on stage, and like the response to it has been a lot of people saying, "You're gross, you're nasty, you should have done that, lady," like insulting her. And I'm thinking, I don't want to like make a sex comparison here, but if that was a woman, that dude should be arrested. And so I'm like, why was she not arrested for that, right? Like, could you imagine If
hell
if
yeah,
a fan
yeah,
came up and just like grabbed the genitals of a woman up there that was a famous woman or whatever
yeah,
in the
yeah,
back of a
yeah,
wagon right now. And so I'm like, there
yeah,
has to be more
yeah.
consequences for this.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, don't do these double standard BS
Yeah.
when it's tailored to your, you know, your agenda or whatever. So if it's going to be that way for one, like Emiru, it should be like that for the males as well.
Yes.
Unless something was alluding to anything, which I think in both cases is not at all.
Exactly.
So most definitely no. And it's just like a treating other people with respect. I mean, these people need to think of not doing anymore, not to like not go to the convention, but a specific type of meet and greets, right? Maybe it is one where like, hey, I'm just going to stand behind the table. Maybe Emiru's not going to stand up and then like, you know, shake hands with someone, hug someone, whatever the case may be. Maybe it is something that's just behind a table and there's no whatever to minimize the contact.
And there's a level of boycott in there too. If a convention wants to offer that kind of feature, which obviously sells tickets, then you need to back it up with a lot more security, a lot more of a secure system, basically, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to bring into this too, which is definitely something we should probably talk about in a grander scheme some other time, is parasocial relationships and how complicated that is nowadays. Are you familiar with that term, parasocial relationship?
No, I know. Just like sounds like something that's like a long distance, essentially,
Where
it's just communication through a phone.
What it is it's a one-sided relationship, and it's very, very common nowadays, and it's getting more and more common. And what it is like, say you watch somebody online, and you're a big fan of this streamer or whomever, this YouTuber, whatever, and you start to kind of feel like this relationship is real. When their successes are good, you feel good for them like it was your brother or sister, and when something is bad for them, you feel sad for them in a way that you'd feel about a loved one. And you start to lose the distance between entertainer and consumer, and it starts to become a friendship. But the problem is that friendship's only one way. That could also go to the extreme of falling in love with them as well. And we've seen this like with stalkers, but now it's becoming so common that stalker's not even the correct term anymore. Parasocial is closer, where it's literally a one-sided relationship. So I think that's something that people need to be more aware of. Like, as somebody who, as you alluded to before, is alone and will never have no. But as someone who is alone, who watches a lot of online content, I am aware of, hey, you know, keep an eye on that, because it is something that my demographic, single dudes in their 30s and almost 40s, is very common for them. And I am aware that it's very common. And, you know, you have to be aware of that. So I think that's another thing too, is like we might actually have to have like a social awareness of parasocial relationships and, you know, kind of negate those wherever we can, if that makes sense. And understand, like, they're entertainers, guys. They're out there to make you laugh or to teach you something. They're not your best friend. They don't know who you are, and they don't care to know who you are.
Yeah, I like to go to the money side of that too as well. Like people donating to these Twitch streamers and thinking that they're like, oh, I got to call out like we're friends or whatever the heck, and then they really can just ban you the next day because again they don't care. But so.
Yeah, it's very complicated, and we'll dig into this more in the future as things kind of develop and stuff, because clearly TwitchCon themselves have to do something, but we go to a lot of conventions and they are very thrown together sometimes, and now it's funny because like now I work for an organization who's putting on a convention, and so to hear things from that side of it, and like I'm sitting there bringing up questions of like, we need to have a security guard if we're gonna have that celebrity there, and so it's very interesting to be on both sides of this also.
If your convention, I swear, is just full of female cosplayers, then
you know,
like Frank must have been a huge part of this.
That's gonna be a blast. That's gonna be fun. That's coming out in May, guys. We'll discuss it more in the future. Nice. All right, next up, Halo Campaign Evolved was announced. This is going to be not remaster, a remake of the first game's campaign, and it's headed to PS5. So first off, let's embrace the game itself. That trailer looks so sick. It's on Unreal Engine 5 now. It's a whole new level of fidelity. What was your initial reactions to
that? Almost like because I was a little unaware if this was like a remaster or remake, and I was like, oh my gosh, Microsoft just trying to put out this game for the 16th time in a different edition to make whatever type of money. But it does look like it'll be worth it this time. I just played it fairly not too long ago, within the past maybe like 3 years on PC. But with the what is that? Complete collection or something like that? Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but now seeing images like this, like still images of like the warthog, you're like, whoa, this looks completely redone. I
Yeah.
mean, it's almost like a Mafia, like the Mafia remaster, right?
Oh my God.
Completely
Talk
different.
about, I replayed that one somewhat recently and a couple months
Yeah.
ago. And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you couldn't tell me this game was a remaster or remake. It's so
Yeah.
gorgeous and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, since this is like ground up type of project, is there something that you would want to see different that wasn't in the first one? And I'll give you some time to think about it, because what I kind of, when I was thinking about this, and what I want to see is more. Master Chief is so solo all the time. He's very by himself. But once you have those moments of like you're in the Warhog with other Marines or you're on the field with other Marines, it kind of enhances that spectacle, I guess you could say. Kind of like when Call of Duty is like that first level of Call of Duty main missions are always just action packed. I want to see a little bit of more of that. I highly doubt we're going to get that, but I would like to see roaming around with other Marines. Now, saying that piece, is there something maybe you would like to see that's could have been done a little different?
So there's gonna be 3 prequel missions that they're adding to this. It's not been seen before.
Nice.
Where he meets
Nice.
with Sergeant Johnson. It's where they first hook up. So I think
heck
that's gonna be more of
yeah.
those. And I like what you're saying. It kind of adds to the scale when you see like, oh, it's an entire Marine force. It reminds me very much
Yeah.
of the one mission in particular. I think it's in Halo 3 maybe, but it could be in 1 where you have the tank and you're trying to go across the bridge and it feels totally like an actual assault on the Covenant from everybody. So I do like those moments a lot, and I think we should get more of those.
Nice.
The thing I'm looking forward to the most with this is the fact that it's on Unreal Engine 5, because I know that's the way of the future for Halo. They're not using their old engine, the engine that they made. This one's on Unreal. And I think that level of upgrade is going to be an upgrade we haven't felt in a while, because there has been plenty of times where I'm playing Halo Infinite or 5, and I'm like, man, this feels like just a sharper version of 3 or 4. And I haven't felt the upgrade as much because it hasn't been an engine upgrade. This will feel that way. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is really feeling like I feel like I'm going to feel the future of Halo in this game. And that's what I'm
yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah, shoot. And in spite of this, we did get news that it's coming out to every console. Crazy. We talked about, I know, I'm putting it out there. I know Xbox says they're gonna make their one last complete system that's gonna have Windows on it.
And I just got news on that we'll talk about in a sec. Holy cow, that news that came out for that is amazing.
I don't know, man. I still feel like this is gonna be an end soon for Xbox, and that might be the last system. Yeah. But in spite of that, I will be playing this on the PS5. Doing it.
That's wild.
Doing it.
Luckily it's gonna be crossplay, because I'm gonna be playing this on the Xbox. Yeah. Because I can't imagine not playing this on an Xbox, just loyalty wise. I'm a sucker for the console wars we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
How many times we're gonna reference that?
Pretty wild.
So
pretty wild.
Yeah, on the PS5, it feels like it's the end of the console wars, right?
It does, and I want to say a little bit that it's a bummer for Xbox fans, for the fact that it's not like their baby anymore, right? Like certain games, Gears of War, whatever. It's not like them only. But I mean, huge boost for, PlayStation, right? Going to be getting an Xbox library, and Xbox is just probably going to be being a publisher here soon enough. I mean, they'll have their own system. Then it really does depend on where do you want to play on, or where at on whatever. What do you want to play on? But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Now it could be, on the same system as Kratos and Master Chief in one.
Yeah.
How much more powerful can you get than that?
So when talking about this with some friends, I thought, I know this isn't the first time I felt like, oh man, the console wars just made a big shift. And like GameStop came out and said like, oh, they did this whole like declaration at the end of the console wars, whatever. GameStop. It's probably just still business. But anyways,
it should be a declaration of ending GameStop.
I know you guys are floating. God. But I thought let's go over a couple times this has happened, and I know this is probably the last one. But first off, 03. This is back a long time ago. I don't know if you remember this, but when GTA first went to Xbox, I remember that being a big deal. It was 2 years after GTA 3, and then they did like the combo pack with DLCs and stuff like that came out to Xbox, and that was very big. The next big one, 2013, Final Fantasy on Xbox 360.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. In 2018, 2019, crossplay kicked in through Fortnite. So then you're actually able to play with friends on a PlayStation or an Xbox together.
Yeah.
Which I know, like for the nephew and stuff like that, that was huge for us. 2020 to 2025, PlayStation starts putting their games on PC. That felt like the end to me because I was like,
yeah.
there goes exclusivity. Like the reason I bought the PlayStation was to play Spider-Man. Well, now I'll
Heck
just
yeah,
wait and
yeah.
buy it on PC a year later.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
MLB The Show, made by PlayStation Studios, launches day one on Game Pass and on Xbox.
Oh, okay. MLB The Show. Yeah.
In 2021.
Okay.
2024, Xbox sends over Sea of Thieves, Grounded, and Hi-Fi Rush,
Yeah. Wild.
Xbox developed games to the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So this console war, and then of course now 2026, Halo's moving to.
You're saying it's secretly been ended for some time now?
I mean, first off, we all know it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's all for us to kind of have something to argue about, for them to sell tickets. It's for GameStop to make whatever cash they can make. But I think like for a while now, it's been going back and forth. It's not Sega versus Nintendo anymore. Those two aren't even in the debate anymore on the console wars with these two. So I think it's been done for a bit, but it's just fun to kind of have this. We've had this fun game going on. And I think at this point, you can't argue it anymore. It's done. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so blasted down because you have a massive heavy hitter like Halo. Why am I buying an Xbox? Halo. Why am I buying a PlayStation? Potentially,
God of War.
I mean, I'm more of like God of War. Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man's kind of newer in my library, but definitely Spider-Man. So it's like waiting for those, what made an Xbox, right? And now finally we got Master Chief on PlayStation. That's kind of like it almost seems where throw in the towel type thing, you know? Like, you got Hi-Fi Rush, but it's Master Chief, you know?
No doubt. Oh, there's no doubt there hasn't been nothing as big of a splash as I would say Master Chief being on PlayStation. I can't think of a PlayStation character that's as to the level of the identity of the console as Master Chief. I mean, of course, Kratos is very high up there. But is Kratos to Master Chief's level for that brand icon?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Because, I mean, in Halo, it's so multiplayer-like, too. God of War, you're only getting solo campaign games. So, I mean, I mean, I could name characters, but, I think on the Master Chief level, no, because, I mean, you could do, like, the whole Uncharted series.
Metal Gear Solid.
I'm trying to think, even older than that. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid was it one? Yeah. Trying to think even older than that. I was gonna say you had Soul Reaver back in the day, Crash Bandicoot, but now that's an Activision thing.
Yeah,
so.
And even that's on Xbox. That's another one that's like I remember when that came out. The trilogy was like, that's sweet. It's on Xbox now.
Yeah. So you're probably right though. I mean, if there was like one big multiplayer type game that came out for a PlayStation, then I would say that. But even now, it's like, okay, well, you had potentially Killzone, but that's kind of being dead because Guerrilla is now making more of Horizon than a Killzone. So
that's too bad. Killzone. I mean, I like Horizon, but Killzone, that was definitely a unique game.
Yeah, man, that's crazy that they're not bringing that back anytime soon.
Looking at the future for these consoles, there was a leak. I want to kind of explain what's going on with this leak that came out from pretty reliable sources on the Xbox Series X when that came out. That the new system, they had their hands on it, and essentially it's a PC that has Windows. And Xbox is built on top of it, and it launches in Windows. It launches in Xbox, which is what the new RG... I can't remember the name of it. The new handheld, quote-unquote, Xbox that just came out. It's the same way that launches.
Thing,
the benefit to that is that this new Xbox you would buy, and I think at that point, once that comes out, it'll be like Xbox 2026. Then the next one's Xbox 2027. You know, you buy the upgrades as the upgrades come out, essentially. But anyways... when that comes out, we're going to be able to play Steam games on this and Epic Library and stuff like that. So I don't know if the console wars make sense anymore when basically Xbox is moving into creating a PC for your TV.
Yeah, you're right. Especially with it's like the fix of something that maybe it's like, okay, hey, we're maybe not doing so well, but what's the fix to try to get around? Like be sneaky about it, right? So how do we get those PlayStation games like a Kratos on our Xbox? Oh shit, we're gonna launch Steam on our Xbox now. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna pull, God of War off Steam now, So it almost seems like a sneaky roundabout to me,
Or is it,
I'm not saying that was the thing, but
that's another thing too. Is Xbox says our competitor is not PlayStation. Our competitor, and this happened with Fortnite as well. Our competitor is Netflix. Our competitor is YouTube and TikTok. Our competitor is your time. It's not a company named PlayStation. It's the fact that you're playing games at all and they're not us. And so the idea of, I think we're beyond the manufactured limitations of a console versus console And now we're all about
Mhm.
like, how do we try to pull Frank away from TikTok right now? And
Yeah.
that might come down to an easier PC. Like I'm already got a PC that I'm using for the TV in the living room. I got a PC here, of course. So yeah, the fact that they're just going to make a PC that's a little bit more user friendly, I just think it makes sense. And so then I'm wondering, how does PlayStation elevate beyond this? Do you see PlayStation try to get into that game?
And that was actually going to be my question to you. Like, what do you see? What would, if there was a console war, right, that had nothing to do with games, what would tailor you to that specific console? Obviously, Xbox having Steam on it, that is wild. That's a plus. That's something that would pull me away as well. So I don't know what the answer would be for PlayStation to not mimic Steam. I honestly don't know what that would
They
be.
try to do that PlayStation Network thing. Remember back in the day when they had their own streaming service?
Yeah,
I think kind of lean
yeah.
back on that a little bit. Be sort of what Apple TV does, or Prime tries to do, where they pull in. Oh, you have Apple TV? Okay, we're gonna integrate that into your library here. You have Netflix? We're gonna integrate that into your library here, so that you have this one hub. Because I think that's where Xbox is going,
Hmm.
to create this hub that goes to your TV. That could be anything. And like if you're looking at Xbox, like, oh, okay, so maybe I also have Microsoft Word. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or PlayStation could have like this entire library of movies based off of the things that you already subscribe to.
Hmm.
I know we're in a new era now where it's like
Yeah.
console gaming itself is probably gone in a lot of ways.
And to piggyback off that, it might be something to where besides game, it is providing this service of streaming, and to pull more people in it might start something little as like, hey, if you want to watch, because I'm watching it right now, the League of Legends finals, hey, get it exclusively on the PlayStation app
Oh, I
instead of
could see
just like
that.
YouTube.
Yeah.
It might be something like that because you brought up Apple, and Apple at 1 year, I think they still show it now, but I don't think it's like locked down to it to them only anymore. But it was like the MLS
Hmm.
soccer league, so you can start off small in the video game world and be like, hey, PlayStation only. Obviously, it's getting marketed like crazy. Would be like at the League of Legends tournament, um, and then kind of like progress. Like maybe, I mean, Sony does make their own
And
movies.
they're great.
I
Yeah.
mean, and so how does Sony not already have maybe like, I mean, could be the future actually. Their PlayStation thing be like a Sony's, involved with the PlayStation
Yeah.
subscription, you would get Sony movies or Sony TV shows.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, Apple TV, I think is a really good example of that, where like F1 is all over the place on that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, rightfully so, but also like that was how we could see PlayStation going. Is like the next Uncharted 2, the movie could be like just this only available on PlayStation thing, just like when you're watching Game of Thrones, it's only going to be on HBO.
Yeah, yeah. Heck yeah, yeah.
The console
That'd be
wars.
crazy.
I don't know if consoles survive very much longer, let alone any particular console.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to me like what controller feels good. Like I have the PS5 and the Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much now just
Yeah.
buying things on Xbox because I prefer that controller. That's just how it boils down.
Yeah, for sure. All right, with the Smurfs Blu-ray release, bring home the Smurfs movie on DVD and 4K now. In this fun, epic adventure, the Smurfs team up with new friends on a daring rescue mission to save Papa Smurf from a league of evil wizards. By the film critics are calling pure comedy magic, and get over 35 minutes of Smurf fantastic extras, including new music from Rihanna and more. Available at participating retailers, rated PG from Paramount's Pictures.
All right, let's get into our reviews. We're going to start off with Gen V Season 2. I'm going to start things real quick with, I loved the character arcs. I think that was one of the big highlights for me, and especially how they led from Season 1. Marie, I think, is the best example, of course. She started off as kind of like, she accidentally murdered her folks. She felt like she was a pariah, an evil person, but just, and now at the end of Season 2, she's a healer. She's a good person. She feels strong. She feels like she has purpose. And we're seeing that across the board with everybody. I think that some of the writing is kind of pushed aside in the boys' universe because, like, oh, did you see that cool, gory scene? The writing is extremely good too. And I think the character arcs are really a highlight for this. Is there a big highlight for you from Gen V?
Yeah, and it's going to go back to what you're saying with writing. What a twist that I was not expecting from what's the villain, Woodikin, or yeah, but what was
Godolkin.
his last name? Godolkin. I was not expecting that, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a genius move. So when Godolkin was using, I guess, Doug now as a puppet, and you realize when he was on the ground and he was about to die and he's acting that way, I was like, no freaking way. Like, that's the moment where I was like, no, he didn't. Is this it? Right? Because then you see, SpongeBob getting kind of like feeling his life back again. um, I thought that was phenomenal, and that made me actually really, really love that character. Marie, though, I do like it because with the writing purposes, you always have heroes that are trying to help and heroes that are trying to kill. So like those corrupted ones or not. But now I feel like we finally got a individual that can kill and heal.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of characters, we haven't really seen that too much with characters that it focus on attack and support now.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like one or the other. Yeah, I mean they can help and they can kill, but they're not advertised like that like Marie is now. I do think it's very interesting that they're really tailoring this to the boys, and the fact that it almost feels like I had to watch Gen V to know the future of the boys.
Yeah.
Is that a good move or is that a bad move? Because I'm kind of like on the fence with it.
I think if Gen V was bad, it would be a bad move, but Gen V was good, so it's a good move. That's the thing, right? Like,
yeah.
This is just more the boys, in my opinion. And and if it wasn't attached, I feel like we're not going to get any more Gen V because we know the boys is done. And so I think like, then we're going to kill off all the Gen V characters as well over there.
Yeah.
But now, instead of you guys just throwing in some MacGuffin character or giving somebody that doesn't have really enough strength to take on Homelander like Starlighter, now you guys have taken 2 seasons and plenty of times to explain Odessa and Godolkin. And now all of a sudden Marie, I think, is a real contender to shut down Homelander or at least help in a great way. And you guys gave her 2 seasons to really flesh that character out. And the Jordan is going to be very good against that fight. Obviously not Homelander level, but you guys built a place. The spinoff wasn't just like its own story. It was where you were developing characters that will be important in the final fight. And that feels good to me. It's not like you're just throwing in characters last minute that are like, oh, trust me, this one has the yellow ring. They'll be able to beat the Green Lanterns. Like, no. Show us the fall of Sinestro,
Yeah, I like that a lot because the fear is almost like a Star Wars movie where you're going to introduce someone that's so later on into the season or in the series that's like, why am I supposed to care about this brand new character in the last season? So, I mean, I like that because if you did watch Gen V, you got to build that relationship with the character. And then when you go into that final season, that is the nice, like, bow on top of wrapping up both.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you get a conclusion with Gen V and a conclusion with the boys. So I think that 2 different paths coming into one, I think will work out perfectly.
And just to jump in on that too, real quick, it's not the first time this has happened. After the season 1 of Gen V, we learned that V was injected into kids. It wasn't like a birthright thing. So then that impacted the boys because suddenly they weren't just like God's gift to humanity.
Yeah,
they were freaks, to some degree.
Yeah.
And so then that changes things too. So it's the fact that they have impacted each other so much, it feels like it's warranted. And the next thing coming in this universe after the boys finale is going to be a prequel to the series, which is, I cannot wait for that because it's all about Soldier Boy and stuff. But that lets me think that like, so nobody's going to survive this thing then, because you're not going to do a sequel series because there's not going to be enough people. So I kind of sets me up for like, this is going to be messy and I'm all for it.
Any like storylines besides like May that you liked? What I kind of thought was interesting to me, and it was something super small, was when Sam went back to his house. I enjoy the I don't know, soulful like aspect of it. It's almost like the parents knew that they messed up, right?
Oh, okay.
But I like with his parents, it seemed like, hey, we didn't want you to be like a family member of ours that was kind of like hallucinating and stuff like that. So we actually thought this compound was going to help you, not actually trying to give you superpowers, and I kind of like that because I thought, the old Sam would have just went back home, and I thought plenty of times he was just going to kill his parents.
The tension is what I remember the most from that moment. Thinking like, it's just a second away from him just destroying people.
And actually, I like him now that he's kind of being sane again, I guess you would say. That conversation he had with his mom about taking responsibilities for your undoing. He started having that conversation with Emma about now apologizing for his own actions instead of just it's the puppets or like whatever it said.
Sam's
any like side thing like that you like?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because Sam is my least liked character, but I think you just made him a little bit better to me. So let's get call out.
Yeah.
I want to give
Yeah.
a shout out to the way they handled Chance's passing, and bringing in Polarity to kind of
Okay.
fill in for that. I mentioned this before, but I believe that the conversation between Polarity and Emma at the end was more than just the characters hugging it out. I think it was a lot of the actors hugging it out and kind of like, I think we did okay by Chance. And the moments like when Doug and Polarity are talking in the car, talking about how like your son was a true hero, those are all about
Yeah.
Chance, the actor, not the character. So I really felt like that was well done. And just kind of giving Polarity a more of a standing role, because I feel like the future for Gen V, if there is one, is he will now be running Godolkin, which hopefully gets renamed because Godolkin was a murderer.
Yeah.
Although I do love saying the word Godolkin. It's like one of my favorite terms. Don't memorize it because there's a good chance you guys are going to fight a Godolkin boss in D&D at some point.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I thought the Godolkin villain was such a phenomenal twist to me.
Yeah.
I really liked his power. Yeah, and then it made sense to like, I don't feel anything. Because his actual feeling, like body wise, was in the coma or whatever, the chamber.
Yeah.
And then when he stabs himself when he's having that meal with Polarity or whatever how you say it, stabs himself. I don't feel a thing. Well, yeah, because that's really not you.
Did you? Okay, so
Doug
was
on the
that a
inside
true
is
surprise?
screaming.
Because I saw that come in like episode 2.
No, I did not. So hold on. So you thought Godolkin was being controlling a different body?
As soon as Marie realized he was a human, because remember when she was able to like feel his blood and see he had Gen V in there?
Yeah.
Or V in there? I was like, shit, he's being controlled by it. Because just like he's controlling Jordan. And so it really made like the middle of the season slow for me, because I was like, just get to the point where you reveal this.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't catch that. I thought maybe he was just like really hiding some type of power, because then when he started mind controlling Jordan in the ring, I was like, oh no, he don't. He's just stronger than everyone else,
Yeah.
So and now I look at it differently knowing this now, because then when he's like hitting himself, or I guess Doug is hitting him on the table, he's just exactly. So it really like, God, I was fascinated by it.
I gotta give a quick shout out to Hamish Linklater, becoming one of my favorite character actors, who plays Cypher. He just steals every scene he's in. He's very good about being kind of like making you think he's better than you. Yeah. Really good performance on his part for sure.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
All around really good cast. I think everybody had growth in this, from Kate, kind of like becoming a whole person again. Emma embracing her flaws and just like recognizing that they're there and not necessarily putting them away.
Did they really, speaking of Emma, did they really wrap up on how she's able to like kind of do her abilities now without having to actually go through shit?
Yeah, because she was like, the one that mimicked her was able to do it. She's like, I don't understand why you're able to do it, and I'm not. I think it came down to her at the very end saying like, I have an eating disorder. It's not like it's a part of my power. I have an eating disorder and I'm dealing with it. And so knowing that and kind of like understanding it as a part of me and not all of me lets her now control her abilities, because it's not attached to her self-esteem anymore.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I was just kind of wanted something.
They could have expanded on that. You're totally right. Maybe they will in the future.
Yeah.
But I think towards the end they were really like, we need to make sure Marie's ready to fight Homelander, and really kind of finishing up that in the Polarity and the Cypher storyline, I think, in Godolkin.
Yeah.
And lastly, I think they handled the Jordan character quite well, because for it being two different actors, played by London and Derek, I think they do a great job. Where I'm like, I forget sometimes it's like, oh, it's two different actors playing the same character, just because the way they switch back and forth is so rapid and fluid. It feels natural. It's
definitely. Yeah, definitely the editing on that was very well done. Because even when was it Emma talking to Jordan in the car or something like that, and Emma was talking to another female. Who was it? And she was like, "Oh, are you one of those pricks that don't like female drivers?"
Yeah, I think it was talking to Kate.
It was a sister. It was Maria's sister.
Yeah, you're right.
And then that quick transition back to like man and the female.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, they did a very good job at doing those quick transitions.
Yeah. Even then, they don't reference it as much as like it just kind of happens naturally. But I do like that little joke at the last episode where like they're outside the car, like, I gotta go pee, and he's like, and then Jordan swaps over like, I did too. It's just like, yeah, that's the superpower of dudes. And they're just pee in the forest. That was fun.
That's funny.
Action wise, I think the action in the final episode was probably its highlight. that battle where frankly Godolkin's just kind of like walking towards the button and making everybody battle it up behind him.
Yep,
and then when we see later on when Marie really steps up her blood bending, I think they kind of reserved a lot of the fighting and cool stuff for the end, but was warranted because it was really worth it. What do you think about this? And do you think they actually earn all the violence and gore they show?
Do they earn it?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, is it just like there just to shock you, or do you feel like, oh no, these characters are actually like that powerful?
I think it wasn't as strong as the boys because they're not that powerful. We see a lot more obviously with the boys. The ones that we see really do this mass like killing is Marie, the villain, of course, Godolkin. Like it is toned down, but it still has to be there because without it, then it's not really anything related to the boys universe. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have that dark humor and gore with it. Which was probably the right thing to do, to be honest, because they're not at that level yet. Now we see Marie that's like, I mean, when she blew up that last person, just like with the powers of that other female that died in the boys. Can't think of it now. The whatever, the political female.
Oh, yeah.
How she died, yeah. But she has like ability now with the whole blood thing. We're going to see a lot more gore coming out of her. And that's just,
Yeah. I'm glad they brought back her daughter, by the way, the senator.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Cool. Yeah. It was cool. It was cool to see. What's his face? I'm thinking of his real life name.
Giancarlo Esposito's his real life name.
Yes. It was neat to see him kind of pop up on the screen and kind of, he gets me thinking. Obviously, he wants to run their show again.
Yeah.
But do you think he's learning any lessons, or will he just become the next villain? Will he become basically Homelander, like in a different way?
Oh yeah, I think he's the lesser of two evils. I don't think he is.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he's a good guy now. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he's going to set up his granddaughter to be the next villain in the future.
She's kind of a little freak, huh?
Oh yeah, she's on board because
she was just way too happy. Yes. Yeah, she's my parents died, but I'm just here to help my grandpa now.
Yeah, and her power looks like a horror villain power. Like her power is the kind of thing you'd see in a horror movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they're setting her up to be a villain then, because her power is not like I bring lights or I'm whatever happy person.
Yeah.
Just like Marie's like this far from being just a villain because like her power looks so scary. So
heck yeah.
Let's wrap this thing up with a score out of 10. What are you thinking?
Ooh. I think, man, that season finale was phenomenal to me.
Really
and I don't want to give it too high, definitely. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
You're gonna give it an 8. Okay.
I'm gonna give it. If I was like really loving the entire season, like the way I felt like with the last episode, definitely a 9 potentially. Obviously, even talks of 10, but I think I'm gonna go 8.
I am right there with you. I am almost. I'm very close to giving it a 9. But that mid-season slump, and I think that one of the problems is like just stay on the university, stay on Godolkin. Yeah. When you guys leave and go to the forest or whatever, it kind of just. I want to stick to God. That's where you got all the cool characters and stuff. So, anyways, I think I'm gonna give it. An 8, but it could be quickly a 9 if it wasn't for the slow part. It's Welcome to Derry. I know that you're a Stephen King fan. I know that you're a horror fan. Give me that first take on this.
I'm not a Stephen King fan, but I am a horror fan. No, I don't like his books, man. He's way too detailed with things. Like so detailed. It's like, let's move on.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's not to say that I don't have some of his books. But anyway, I thought this episode, I had to think about it multiple times because I have some cons about it, and that's probably because this is the first episode where story will be explaining, and I will tell you my concerns. But right off the bat, just overall arc, I thought this was a great first episode of a series or a season. Season series, whatever they're going to do with this thing, because it brought a lot that wasn't just story building and you get to see a clown at the end.
Right.
Like there was a lot in the beginning, escaping the theater, going in that car, having that crazy, situation happen with the bat baby, I guess, demon baby.
Yeah. And
then it kind of did some like storytelling. And then we went back to the movie theater and we already know how gruesome that got. Right.
Yeah.
So so overall, I want to know what you think, just overall, without details.
Full spoilers, guys, just a heads up on that before we go forward, but all the marketing is on that group of kids, and it's like, there ain't the group of kids no more. That threw me off the most.
that was very well done. I thought of like, is this going to be like a Game of Thrones where we're going to just kind of like follow what's his name, Ned, right? Ned Stark, and then just no, you're not, off the head.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, and then
Especially from a movie that really is always revolving around kids.
Yeah.
So
and the It movies will definitely embrace some of the crazy carnage we saw in that car scene. I felt like opening the show on that was maybe too much. I think if they were to hold off on that, like I think the best horror opening in all of films is when you have Georgie following his little boat down the waterway, and then it goes down the thing, and then because we get Pennywise, but it's just the voice of Pennywise, and then it's just the face of a clown in the sewer, and then you see the teeth, and it's like it escalates, it like ramps up in a comfortable way to where like okay, then we go back and we learn about missing Georgie, which is what this show's trying to do, but I think the subtlety of Pennywise in a drain is a lot, I don't know, better. I don't have a better term for this. Than the car full of people that are slowly like saying things that are weird and creepy, and then eventually they all like freak out, and then you have the mutation baby. I just think that the Pennywise handles it better there than he does with the whole car scene.
Yeah, see, and that's where I'm gonna be opposite with you on that, because I like that it took that risk of doing something different.
Fair.
And maybe not be a risk, but I just like that it wasn't like a slow pace, like a slow build up, because this is the first episode of storytelling. But you're right though. I do think Pennywise in the sewer was a little bit more tense than it was like in the car. But that's when my fear was of it going to become It 2 status than It 1 status. And I'm talking movie wise, because when we saw the mutation baby, I was like, this reminded me of the stupid babies that were in that, when they were in that Chinese restaurant in It 2, like flying little out of the cookies or some shit, whatever. That was like, oh my God, what are you doing here? But I like that it gave us a lot. Now another fear that I have is that it's really going to slow down after that and kind of start acting like a build up.
I kind of want it to
like you gave us a lot in the beginning.
Because
you do want it?
I think it's better than I think it's better when it slowed down a little bit, because when we look at the It movies or the It story as a whole, there are like kind of jump scare moments that each individual kid experiences. And I think like to me, the best moment of this was when the girl is hearing voices in the drain and the fingers come up. I'm like, that is it.
Okay, you're 100%. I don't want demon babies every time. I want something to remind me that this character is here and he's haunting everyone. You know, I don't need that amount of gore. Like in the last scene, okay, we'll just say it. Basically, almost everyone's dead. All the children. I don't need that every time. That's what I mean. So I'll backtrack. Yeah.
So I think finding that happy medium and kind of like, every so often you can do those, but not all the time. I want to say one of the things I'm most excited for, and I had no clue this character was coming in, was the fact that Dick Halloran is in this. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's right. Everything Stephen King is connected. I already knew Shawshank was coming up because they have the bus for Shawshank. But Dick Halloran in this, dude, how insane are they connecting they're connecting The Shining to this. One of the best horror movies of all time. And I've always wanted to know more about Dick and how he has The Shining. And like, to me, that's The Shining versus Pennywise. That's so cool to me.
Is he the driver, or where was he at?
He's in this show. He's the one that's driving the Jeep.
That's right. Yeah. Man, that's so crazy that I forget that he tries to do this connecting universe thing, and I'm wondering. It kind of makes sense, right? Because if he was like after Shining, right?
This is before Shining.
Before Shining. Then what? Because my question is, why is that stare? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, he looks freaked out, right?
And I think that stares because he could see like dead people and stuff like that, and he sees the future of people, and he's looking at the guy and he's like, because that's it's not Richie, I think it's Mike. You know, in the main It story, the one that's like the one that journals everything for them, that's his granddad or great granddad or whatever. So I think he's seeing like, oh my God, your entire family's fucked from Pennywise. I think that's what he's seeing. And I think whatever happens here in Welcome to Derry, he's like, you know what? I'm moving to Colorado and I'm going to help out at some hotel.
That's crazy. I can never escape it. So something that was kind of a side story that I felt like was really not in this universe, and I'm trying to see like, how are they going to tailor it? Or I guess I'm looking forward, but kind of like a little skepticism of what's come, is the whole, I'm going to say like probably inside job of wanting the plans of the B-52. So when those guys dressed up and broke into that guy, the major's house, kind of beat him up for the plans. We want the plans for the 52. One, I feel like that's inside work. Two, what the hell? Like, does this have to do with anything? I thought it was going to become one of those like hallucinations or whatever that it has provided. So
yeah,
that's a little scary. I think his buddy that's with him was probably like in on that too. I have a feeling of that. The way he just kind of charged in and kind of just jumped on someone's back. Just whatever. But I'm really curious if like, obviously we see like, hey, they already advertised that the building is, let's just say Area 51 building, right? Whatever. Don't go in there type thing. They could be doing the plans of the B-52 in that building as well. And maybe he thinks it's an inside, so he's getting jumped for it. Inside job. That seems like a whole thing on its own, and it doesn't seem like anything to do with anything I've ever seen in my life. So I'm curious, is this going to be not needed? Is this going to be ridiculous? I don't know.
So that base is not in Derry, and Pennywise has full control over Derry itself. It's outside of Derry. So what if that base is there because, well, what if that base is investigating what they know is something wrong going on in Derry? So they could be trying to figure out Pennywise, maybe. I do want it to connect wider. So I'm like, Misery. I'm trying to go through all the movies and all the stories, Christine, are they developing a car that can kill people in there? Who knows? But, we can see a connection to the Water Squad.
Yeah. Maybe they're fooling everybody. It's not a B-52 project, that it could be something that they're investigating Derry with.
I felt that assault was misplaced. Frankly, I thought it was like, this is like that we already had a racist moment. We could have had those be like guys that were just like racist trying to attack him. I thought that would have made more sense. The attack because of the B-52, and then like while it was happening, the way that one guy was kind of standing off, I thought, oh, that's his general making sure that he doesn't share plans about the B-52, like putting him to the test.
I 100% think that, yeah.
But none of that came to fruition. I'm like, wait, these are literally just Soviet spies? This is stupid. Why are they on this base?
Yeah. So I'm really interested in see if how do they really wrap that with it, because that just felt so out of place, where that was my really like knock with this episode.
Yeah.
But maybe it might come to fruition later on and I end up really loving it. I don't know. We'll see.
And then there's the nod to the turtles. Did you notice? So we had two turtles. We had, which of course is a Stephen King thing. We had the turtle for the duck and cover program at the school, and then the charm was a little turtle.
Yeah,
she got, which is a nod to the fact that it's Pennywise versus the turtle that the entire Earth is sitting on. That's the whole.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
That helps. I think it's Billy. God, I can't remember all the kids' names anymore, but like I think Billy learns how to defeat Pennywise through the turtle, like saying like, "This is what you got to do." Yeah, in the books.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I always, whenever I'm watching anything, especially I'm always looking out for turtles, man. Yeah.
See, I really don't. Yeah, I gotta start. But then I feel like I lose enjoyment if I'm really like trying to dig into something and not just sit back and relax,
Because especially with Pennywise, whenever you're watching an It movie, like seeing the random red balloon somewhere in the back, whatever, to me, that's the best part of it, is like finding the little clues. Yeah. And so the fact that now I'm looking for little turtles or whatever, I think it's fun. Like the fact that the baby was this mutation. Well, just before that, they were talking on the radio about how like, oh, people were worried about deformation or deformed children because of the nuclear test. And then it was like a deformed baby. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They were hinting the baby's coming and it's going to be all messed up because they were talking about this. And the girl's like, change it because I don't like this. So I do like.
So you think potentially that the family was experimented?
I think the family was taken over by Pennywise before he came into like clown form for this 27-year session. Because especially when the son looked over and he used the Pennywise eyes, I was like, oh, okay, so Pennywise is here. Because he can manipulate reality within Derry, not outside of Derry, which is why I don't think he's part of the military base at all. Which is so weird that why I have the military base. I know it's so that you can get the kids back. I think, the son will be important, not necessarily that guy in general. The setting of Derry, I thought it was so polished and like almost like CGI'd into looking perfect. To where I felt like fake in the right way, like, ooh, this is eerie. Like everybody's pretending everything's fine. You know what I'm saying? Did you get that vibe at all?
No, I mean, I did see that, like, obviously this perfect town, but if everything is fine, I don't know. I didn't get that because only the fact that like the movie theater, right? When the guy was chasing him out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
But like a kid went missing 4 months ago and You guys are on the brink of the Cold War. You're in the middle of the Cold War right now, and you have the first military base that will respond to nuclear powers outside. And like but then you see this like idyllic town where everything's beautiful. And I know it's the color grading, but they almost like add like this gold tint to it, like especially when they pan out. They keep panning out on Derry with like this gold color grade on everything. That's just like, this is Mayberry, like this is perfect.
Yeah, and the only person that was really worried about this is dead now. The kid that was saying we're on the brink of World War III, and then his friends are like, "Oh, that was ridiculous. Like you sound wild." Now it's dead.
Well, and the only places that we see are dirty are the sewers where Pennywise is at, and where the kids hang out. Everywhere else looks pristine, picturesque. But where the kids are hanging out, and where like that kid's questioning things, or when Lily turned down the kid that's missing now. Like all that happens in that one area where it's kind of dirty and dingy because the kids would make a mess out of it. But everywhere else is super pristine. So it's kind of like, oh, reality exists there, nowhere else.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting take.
So let's get a grade on this first episode. Boy, I'm looking at the cast right now. I'm like, that kid's dead. That kid's dead. That kid's. Looking at this first episode.
Where are we going now?
What would you give it a grade? And are you excited for what's coming up?
I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I think some of the grades were a little too high.
Yeah.
I'm just a little concerned. That's why of what the future will look like for the series. A lot of highs in the wrap it up overall. A lot of highs in that first episode. Hopefully it doesn't slow down in a bad way. Give me that eerie way with him popping out there we go. Give me little hints of him here and there. And then that military side. I just I don't see anything. Hopefully there's some value of it later on. So I'm going to go with a 7.
You nailed it 100%, man. Yeah. Give me some value out of the military base. I want way more Dick Halloran. I think that's the silver lining to so many questions I have.
That's so crazy.
Like hearing that Shining is connected to this much. And then I know that we just saw the bus to Shawshank, but maybe there's more to that as well.
Dude, I want to go back and watch this episode because I got to see these things that
the bus to Shawshank is from the trailer, not from the actual episode. But it's the Shawshank prison bus loading up people. And I was like, oh my God, that's another one, So,
got it.
Now, hey, you know what? Actually, Green Mile is also Stephen King. Maybe we could get something to do with that, like where he's able to heal people by touch. Who knows? What's it? Castle Rock? I loved Castle Rock because it was the same thing where I was like, oh, this is a reference to that.
That was a good one. That's a good one.
And so Misery, one of my favorites. Maybe we'll get some Misery in there too. But yeah, I have hopes, but I am less hopeful for this series after the first episode, which is a real big problem. But the fact that like it kind of I think went too far too fast. I'm like, man, you guys almost look silly with that baby running around. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not scared at all if that's what you guys are trying to do. I'm more freaked out about the girl looking down a drain than this like giant baby flying around in a theater. That wasn't scary anyway.
Yeah, and I think we could kind of maybe have the same idea, but the baby is going to be it. Essentially, he's been kind of eating, feeding, getting bigger, right?
I think
we're gonna have
so,
some like full form of him. Okay, yeah.
All right, guys, let us know what you guys thought about that. That's a weird one. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Let's go ahead and get into our interview with Eliah Mountjoy, the voice of Winter Soldier. You guys will recognize his voice as the very formidable and very dangerous Winter Soldier Bucky from Marvel Rivals. You know how many times people hear your voice and run in fear?
Yeah, it's kind of become a thing now where I meet a new person and they're like, I got a lot of PTSD because of you. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, but Bucky's made of PTSD, so what can I say?
That's fair. Yeah. So Marvel Rivals, very hot game. I mean, new season after new season. We just got a new one that came out now. And you have a very stacked IMDb. How did you come across the role for Winter Soldier in Marvel Rivals?
Oh, same way I get almost everything, which is through my agent, an audition through my agent. Particularly for Rivals, I think that there's probably some legacy characters who were approached.
Yeah.
And you could probably guess who they were because they've done that voice for 10, 15, 20 years. But I had to audition. And especially for video games, you don't know what you get. They don't tell you. There's almost always a code name because secrecy is so important, particularly in that world. So I didn't know what I was auditioning for. I was just doing
Yeah.
me doing whatever this kind of character description was. And then at some point, I feel like there was a callback, and it had a picture of Winter Soldier, and then I was like, oh, okay, it's a named character, a well-known Marvel character. This would have been kind of right, sort of in the middle, towards the end of the pandemic, so like 22, I want to say.
Okay.
Maybe early 23. I have to go back and look, but I just because I was already a fan of
Mm-hmm.
comic books, superheroes, all of that, and so I was a fan of Sebastian Stan and the way that he portrayed the character. But I also knew I'm different. I'm a different person, and I wasn't going to try and voice match, kind of like you have to with Tony or Peter Parker or Hulk or Thor. Those kind of legacy characters, you kind of have to. You got to be really close. It's like that's not Spider-Man. It's like it's got to be Spider-Man. So fortunately, Bucky didn't have a real like strong vocal print. He just had that strong, really cool black leather with the mask and the hair and the silver arm, and I loved that.
Yeah.
So I really wanted the role, and so when I got it, I was pretty pumped about that. I was pretty pumped.
So when you get that second callback, clearly they like what you've done, but now you know who the character is. Are you influenced by that at all?
Yeah, I mean that's always the catch-22. You know that you gotta do what you gave them. That's why they called you back,
right?
And you know that whatever you do, you have to bring yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing an impersonation or a sound match, it still has to be genuine. And so I just I love these kind of characters. I love superheroes. I love tactical superheroes. Do a lot of military sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I love the dark streak, the macabre side of things. So I like villains, or like like Batman is I'm a Batman fan because he's like he's riding that line between villain and hero.
Yeah.
Darth Vader is another one I've always loved, and he's existed in both worlds, good and bad, and that where is the line? I love that. I love that theme. I love playing that duality because I feel that's more actual, more representative of where we live as people in the real world. It's not just good and bad, and it's like it's complicated, and different situations call for a different side of you. So he's a complicated character, and I love I love having the space to play that kind of a character.
Yeah. And that complication too, that I think you have to deliver that with your lines. And I think when it's done right, and it is done right with you, is you do hear that like, little bit of battered character who's been around for a little too long, he's tired, and he's out there just one more day trying to save the world, one piece at a time.
Right. Yeah. He's 108 or whatever years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's been through literally hell and back, Hydra and back, and remembers some of it and doesn't remember some of it, but probably feels all of it and has to contend with that moment to moment. And that, that contributes to how he is just in moment to moment. So he was a lot of fun to play. Yeah.
We're seeing now from your entire Marvel Rivals cast, this hustle that you guys go to conventions. You're very engaging with the fan base, and it's a delight on our side. Now, do you guys have any interactions before the game comes out? Or are you guys friends from beforehand, checking in with each other? What does that look like?
Well, like we're just talking about Jordan. Jordan's been a friend for, I've known him for 10 years, something like that. He and Mara.
Yeah.
And we met at some of the places we would train. Same mentors. We'd be passing. It'd be like you see, oh hey, nice to see you. And Jordan and I are actually both from Colorado, so we have that in common. But it wasn't until this game that we kind of really became friends, because we started doing a lot of social media stuff together, a lot of events, a lot of cons. And so, we were kind of by nature forced to spend more time with each other. And I found that we actually liked each other. And the same thing happened with Daniel Marin, the voice of Namor. He became just immediately, we got together to do this social media video thing for the donut video, we always call it. And it's because Daniel always takes his kids every Sunday to whatever donut place, wherever it was. And this particular place at this time was Danny Trejo's Donuts in Hollywood. And it was during, what is the St. Patrick's Day was the weekend. So I had just gotten to know Daniel through the stream that we had done. So I hadn't even met him. We just exchanged a few texts or whatever. And he sends me this picture of this charmed and dangerous donut that Danny Trejo had made for St. Patrick's Day. Charmed and dangerous. So I was like, oh, this is crazy. It's crazy that this has made it all the way to a donut. And so I texted I texted Daniel and Jordan. It was like, hey, would you guys be down to just do a silly video, like just meet up and just like do something. Yeah. And they're like, yeah. So I called Danny Trejo's Donuts and was like, hey, you got any more of those charmed and dangerous donuts? And the guy who answered the phone was like, no, that was just for St. Patrick's Day and we're out. And I was like, oh, okay. I was kind of putting on the voice a little bit in case maybe I wouldn't have to explain, well, I'm the voice actor and I didn't want to have to be that guy. And he did. He played the game. He's like, but are you? I was like, I do voice the Winter Soldier. And I heard that you had the donut and I thought it would just be really fun to come in. And he's like, I'm actually the baker here and I can totally make that happen. And I was like, wow, great. So if you can do that, can you also make a green donut and a perfect golden donut? And I can bring my friends, Daddy Warlock and Namor in. And can we come in on a Thursday at 10 a.m.? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So we all showed up and that's where I met Daniel. And just the way he called out to my name, Eliah, I was like, oh, it's my homie. It's my friend. We became instant friends like that. And that's happened with this core group of us, a strong, powerful bond. Mara, obviously, because Jordan's married to her, but she's fantastic, legendary. Alpha Takahashi, so talented, so kind, became instantly in the fold. Scott White, Scott Porter, Eric Bra. It's been such a wonderful experience being cast with a bunch of other people that we're actually friends with. They're great. Yeah. They're great. We go watch movies. We go to the beach. We hang out. It's kind of silly, but it's a real silver lining and a real blessing.
Especially with so much of the post work and whatnot, you guys are working together. So it is nice that you guys have a good relationship because otherwise that would have been a bear. So it's nice to see you guys get along.
Yes.
Some of the funnest lines in the game are the banter moments. Do you guys get to record those in person ever, or are those all solo in booth?
Everything is recorded in these sessions that we have. So it's all isolated. It's
That's all too bad.
I know. I wish that we could all be in a room. I mean, this is how they do it in Japan. They all get in a room, or China, they do it there too. They all get in there, but you have to stand there while everyone does their lines. So they're long sessions, but you get to react off of each other because acting is reacting. And I think it would be great, but it does kind of go to prove the point that one of the skills you have to learn as a voice actor is how to speak to somebody who's not there. Because you can tell when it's kind of vacant and just reading lines. Yeah. But if you can connect to, I'm really saying that to somebody, I think that's what makes it personal and allows people to really connect with the character. And but it's harder. It's much easier and more natural if you just have somebody to just say the line to. I wish it were that way.
Yeah. Is that a skill you had to develop over time? Do you think that's something you got better and better at?
Yeah, for sure. I was not. naturally good at that out the gate. I don't know
so
very many
difficult.
people who are. It's weird. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it feels weird.
Yeah, you go into a sterile room that sounds weird because it's sound treated. So even as soon as you get in there, it's not normal. You're a fish out of water. And then you got glass and people looking at you through the glass, and this voice of God is the director telling you what to, it's unnatural. But you have to make things very grounded and real, because in game sessions they move quickly.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of lines to get through, and it's like almost every line that you've heard, that actor has seen that line 1 minute ago, maybe 30 seconds ago, maybe 15 seconds ago. And they're saying these lines for the first time.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
Yeah, and that's it. That's how the process goes. And if the director is worth their weight in salt, and ours is Michael with Bright Skull, he's fantastic. He can be like, no, the scenario is more this, so you're more relaxed, or no, this is in battle, so we need you to give some more to it. And the director will help you kind of navigate that. But it's fast. It moves. It works fast, and that's also one of the challenges of voice acting.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of really good things about Bright Skull, actually, and how good they were with you guys. And even with like Marvel Rivals, what Jordan was saying was that you guys got the script the day beforehand, which is so rare. And a lot of times, like, you're reading a paragraph on the day in the moment and having to figure out where the emotions are going to fit, That's
right. They are really good about that. And it's very rare, because video games can't afford to have stuff leak.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets excited about it, and then it dies away, and the enthusiasm passes, and then when it's time to buy the game, everyone's like, "That's an old hat." So, but Bright Skull is really good about that, and they will give that to you ahead of time, and so you can read through, and that's a tremendous gift, because you can then see the picture of the character much better, and this happens to them then, and then they say this, but they also say that, and it gives you a better chance to consider the character and be able to build something and come with a more of an idea, instead of we're just which is what most video games are. So that's a real plus that they did us a super solid that way.
Yeah. When you're recording these lines, how do you make it distinct from, dialogue with some banter in the beginning of the game to barking out orders, or making sure that it's really clear that mechanically the players are able to hear it out and react to it?
The director is really good about giving us that context. That's his job or her job. They know, and that's when I say they'll give you a redirect and say, no, this is happening in battle, so, or there's a lot of music, or this is just banter, this is just stuff that you do, so you can really relax and just connect to them. That's the director will give you that gauge.
Interesting. Okay. When it comes to somebody like Winter Soldier with all this baggage and everything behind him, what are you taking away from Bucky? Who do you think Bucky is in your head? And what are you trying to put on him that might be individualized to you, your own personal signature that makes Bucky special?
Well, this is the reason I connected so powerfully with Bucky. And I think that the reason acting works ever in the first place, it's when somebody connects with a character and they give themselves to it, that makes it relatable and personal. And that's what we all want. We want to connect with, emotionally connect with a character and a story, and be brought through that. And it helps us glean meaning of what all this is about. And specifically with Bucky, he's we were talking about right at the beginning of this, a tortured person.
Yeah.
And he's had to live through who knows what horrors, of which he was brainwashed to do, but still he did them, and he has to live with that. And so I love the strength that this character, and the prowess that he has to constantly present just to make it through another day, to somebody who's lived more than a century, to contend with the demons of the past, whether he did them or didn't. Like, it's still a traumatic thing, and it's messed him up. It's messed a bunch of people up, but he's messed him up, and he's got to find a way forward. And I love that about this character. It's because I see these comic book characters as a modern day mythology where these characters are molded after facets of ourself, and through the vehicle of story, we can better see who we are, how the world is, what should we do while we're here, how do we treat others, how do we treat ourselves. And in the case of Bucky, his perseverance to try and become a better person every day is something that I really love. It's what I have tried to do, and I have a background of trauma. The family I came from wasn't great, and yeah, there's people out there that have had it harder, and acknowledge that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it was difficult, and there was a lot to overcome, and it did take a long time, and there was a lot of pain involved, and those circumstances forge as a person in a certain way. And Bucky has he's the assassin of assassins. He's the killer of killers. So he's a very dangerous person. And for a while, for many years, I was training with a lot of ex-Navy SEALs and kung fu masters and people who are very, very dangerous, actually very dangerous people. And I was doing it for kind of performance capture and mocap to learn how to play these characters more believably. But in the process of doing it, I learned the value of what the training was all about, which is to make yourself a better person, minute by minute, day by day, through trial and error and hardship and suffering. And you embrace the discomfort of this suck. They called it, this sucks. But then you stick with it, and you support each other, and you grow stronger from that. And that's something that I wanted to bring to Bucky, because I thought he's the perfect character for that. And so you'll see these guys who are very, very dangerous people, uncomfortably so. You know that they could kill you with their bare hands. They could just do it, and there's nothing you could do to stop them. And it's an incredibly humbling feeling. But they're very, very relaxed people. They are very chill people. You wouldn't know. You'd see them in a bar, and they'd just be super relaxed. They're not all like aggro. They're super relaxed. And there's something incredibly unnerving about an individual who knows what they're capable of, and is able to hold their space. And I wanted to kind of bring that to Winter Soldier, but they have this other side, which is the flip mode when it's battle time, and they ramp it up, and so that's what I try to do with, like, the ults and some of the bigger lines.
Boy, the context you just added to Bucky has made him so much better to me just now. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's incredible. Looking at the patches going forward, I mean, obviously there's a big continuous arcs that are going forward on Marvel Rivals. Is there any particular story for Bucky you'd want to see them take him in the future?
Oh man, I would love to see the interaction with Bucky and Natasha play out a little bit more, because that was kind of passed over in the MCU in the movies. There's a whole history there.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more interaction with Widow. But there's a lot of fun stuff coming out now in the comic books. You can see me and Namor having a fight over what's more cuddly, the kittens or squids, and Luna Snow trying to break us up. And it's all fun, but I would like to see more interaction with Natasha.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, especially talk about trauma, shared trauma on that one for sure. Yes. They're both used as tools in different ways.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, fantastic character, and I'm so glad you brought him to life. But you have a extensive career also in dubbing, which is a true gift to those of us who can't read fast enough when it comes to anime. And what is that process like for you when you're trying to do an anime dub? And how close are you trying to stay to the original voice actor's intent, or trying to change it to your own intent?
That's a good question. The most difficult thing about dubbing is always timing. It's always the timing. For me, that's easily the most difficult thing because you have a very exact amount of time to convey something very specific. So the second part of your question, it comes into play for me on how I kind of handle that. I don't, because they will always play you the original Japanese or the original Chinese or Korean or whatever it's in. I don't try to voice match that, but I try to match the intent.
Okay.
And it's not always fail safe because it's cross cultural, and I don't know what they're saying except for the words that I get to read. But you can hear how somebody's saying something, and it's my job to translate that.
Yeah.
So if I have to go and try to reduce it to the lowest common denominator, are they sad? Are they happy?
Right.
And go, yeah, they're happy, but they're not like cotton candy happy. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm not dead happy. That's a different kind of happy. And then that's what makes it fulfilling work to me, because then I get to flex the acting muscle, which is, how would you do this if you were so happy that you narrowly died, but you're alive? What does that sound like if you were this character? So I love it for that, and I also like that. It's kind of like spoken word karaoke, where there's a melody and there's a timing.
Yeah.
You try to do that, but you bring your own voice to it, and that's a really fun process for me. I like that.
Is there any ad-libbing in that process? Because it seems like you'd have to stick pretty close, but also you might want to change things to make more sense with a cultural divide.
There's a lot that happens quite often, and it's really the director and or the person who did the audio localization or the translation, or they'll go, oh, you know what? Hold on, I'm actually seeing there's a flap there that's not working with the way that it's worded, or the direct translation doesn't really convey what's actually happening. So hold on, if we use this, and they'll do it live in like real time.
Wow.
It's so much work. And you have to be, and you just have to be focused hour after hour after hour. I'll do a 4-hour session, but they're there for double that at least. And it's not like, it's a very focused work. It's exhausting work. And I just have so much reverence and respect, because it's at that level of focus and concentration. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot.
I can't imagine. Yeah. Because, on your side as well, you're trying to match these emotions, bring them forward, but also as the person who's directing that, you're having to match that emotion across multiple characters. And again, that cultural divide, and I'm sure there's a good deal of them that have a passion for the project as a whole, wanting to make sure it's as good as possible. So yeah, boy, that's a tough gig as well, doing the directing job. Yeah.
But there's harder jobs, and I've worked them, so I always keep that in perspective.
Yeah.
I go, oh my God, my voice, and I am so tired, and they're working even harder than I am. But it's like, this work is amazing. This work is amazing. And if you're so lucky is to be able to get it, I always try. I'll never be like, ooh, that was a real tough one, guys. See you tomorrow. It's like, we're so lucky. We're so fortunate to do this. And it's not lost on me to know that there's much harder jobs. Yeah. And just how lucky we are to be a part of it at all, in any capacity. It's a miracle.
Yeah. My grandma used to be like, is there air conditioning? Then don't complain. Because there's people that don't have that.
Yeah, for one. Yeah, exactly. Just that. Air conditioning, you got it made. Imagine doing any job without that.
No. When it comes to, so it sounds like timing's a little bit different. Is there any other major differences from dubbing anime or even live action compared to video games?
Oh, well, besides the timing, sometimes games will have to do that, but yeah, there's a different tone.
Okay.
You know, there's a different anime. You can hear the sound of anime.
Hmm.
You can hear, and there's all different kinds of anime. There's all different kinds of games. But I think by nature of even just imagining, if games are geared towards the player,
Right.
so in different scenarios, you have to make sure that you're connecting with that player. Because if you're doing a cutscene and it's this whole thing where you're playing out a scene, that's different than if you're in game and you're trying to tell the character, maybe it would be a good idea to go over there and check out that,
Yeah.
X marks the spot thing. Like, don't you think? But without being like so heavy-handed and wink wink. But so I always say it really helps to understand the medium that you want to record in. So a lot of people are like, how to get into games, what do you play games? Did you grow up games? No, I don't have the time. I suck at them. I can't. It's like, then at the very, very, very least, you should be going on YouTube and watching the cutscenes and watching the gameplay and understanding, because like for Winter Soldier, for example, they had a lot of those animations for the ults, and even just him standing when they call it the character select, when he's standing there and you'll see him like move his arm. There's a sound for that, and me and the director would be like, how would you make what's that sound that you're seeing? What's that sound like? Whereas anime, you'll see like, you see the images, and then you'll hear the original and be like, okay, I'm trying to match that.
Oh, okay.
Whereas it's a different tone most times in video games. I think it's just, but man, it's still better all be coming from your heart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's still all better be you in whatever capacity it is, because whether it's anime or video games or commercials or promo or narration or any of this other stuff that I also work in, you have to connect with somebody. And
it has to come down to some intent a little bit too, right? Like video games, it's also mechanical. The player has to be able to react to your voice. So like when they hear your ultimate, they know to like duck and cover. But with anime, it's so much emotion generally that you have to like make sure that there's enough emotional attachment going on. It must be quite complicated. Yeah,
and like a lot of the anime that I've worked on, it's moving quickly. So you need to keep moving, and you don't have a lot of time to like. But at the same flip of the coin, for a game, if you're doing in-game work, meaning the player is playing, that also kind of has to move along too, because action is happening and you can't be sitting there eating a sandwich while you say your line.
Yeah.
But the director lets you know all that. The director lets you know.
Let's close things out with a hopeful tone here. Say somebody's a young, they're wanting to get into voice acting, and I know that character voice acting is a tougher gig to get into, but where should somebody like that start off?
Well, Jordan, Daniel, and I, we always talk about this. Mm-hmm. For us, the answer is simple. If you want to be a voice actor, that means you want to be an actor, because voice acting is acting. It's actually more difficult acting because you don't have your face to convey a wink or a shrug. You have to find a way to do that with your voice, and it has to be the way you would do it, because they already have everybody else. What makes it interesting and unique is how you would do it. So my advice is start acting. Take acting classes. Take an improv class.
Yeah. Be
part of the arts. Watch interviews where people talk about the craft and the process of what it is to be an actor. What do they go through? And understand that hardship and uncertainty is part of the path. Failure is part of success. You can't have them without the other. You have to have uncertainty. You have to have hardship. You have to have failure in order to have success. It's like the night with the day. You can't have one without the other. And the only other thing that I would say is start.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the right time. I mean, look, if you know you're in the middle of a family member is going through something, and you know, or you're you just got into a car accident. It's like, I'm not going to start acting right now. I'm
Right.
trying to. I got a broken leg, which I've been there. I've been there before, so I know. I get it. But there's another calibration in there, which is like you have to know, why do you want to act? Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
Actors are kind of nutty. You kind of got to be sort of nutty. You can't be, well, I'm showing up to work today and I'm going to put in another 9 to 5 and it's going to be square as, you know, it's like, it is the Wild West, and there's so much uncertainty and hardship. You better really know why you're doing this.
Yeah.
And you have to determine for yourself, I want to do this because I can't not do it. I have to do this because I would do it for free. If I find myself doing another job and I'm always thinking about acting and like, oh, that was an interesting performance. Why would they do that? How would I do that? And you find yourself ruminating about it. Well, then maybe acting is for you. If you're like, wow, one day I'm going to be sitting here giving an interview and people are going to want to see me on stage. And I mean, it's passé and it's an old hat truth, but it's well-meaning and it's purposeful. Those won't serve you in the journey to becoming an actor, because one of the most poignant things that one of my acting teachers told me was, and it came from Stanislavski, which is you have to love yourself and the art, not the art in yourself. And it's a simple but profound statement, especially if you're a voice actor. Most of us aren't prime time. Most of us aren't pasted our faces and our voices. It might take a long time. And if you love the process and you can't help but just not do it, you'll find your way. But if you're in it to make some side cash, or I just want all my friends and family to finally see that I'm actually worth something. We all have those feelings and we all have those experiences, but that can't be your motivator to wanting to be an actor. It has to come from within, and your motivations have to be, I want to tell stories. And I'm fascinated by human psychology. And why would a person do that? Because as an actor, you're always putting yourself into somebody else's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
If you were this character with these circumstances and you had to say these lines, how would you make that real? How could you justify that? Because everybody just believes they're doing the right thing, whether they're good or bad. They have their reasons for it. Like Magneto is a great example of that.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's like, and you hear him say it, and you're like, you're kind of off your rocker, but I see why you would do this if you believed that. And then it gives the dimension and depth to this character where they're just a bad guy. You're like,
That's right.
They had a hard life and they took this path and that's where it led them. I can't let that happen to me. And it starts this whole internal thing. And that's how people get attached into the story. And it starts giving them value and calibrates who they are and what, that's the function of art. You can't do that if you just show up to try and do a line. Listen to my impersonations. Those are great. And there's professionals out there that do them. Jordan's one of them. Our friend Scott White is one of them. They can do impersonation work. And it's out, the work is out there, but it's like 1%.
Yeah.
You have to bring your own voice, because projects don't want to sound like other projects. They want their unique project. And for you to sound like your own voice, that means you have to know who you are. The trouble with that is we're always in a state of constantly discovering and redefining ourselves. And that's art.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, and I really like that idea where it's this passion where you can't stop thinking about it, and that kind of goes for any career, really. But yeah, it's one of those things. And I want to say I appreciate the work that you guys, the hustle that the entire Marvel Rivals team has been doing, going to these conventions, meeting fans face to face. It means so much to all of us. So truly want to give you a thanks and everybody else, because we see you guys, LACC and all of them. It's really pretty amazing. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's just been an honor and a pleasure to be a part of something that so many people are excited about.
Yeah,
ourselves included. And we started as fans first as well. And like I said, we're so lucky that I found kind of equal footing with my friends to be like, we would have done this for free because we love it that much. But we live in Los Angeles and it's not cheap, and you do have to make a living. So there's a business side of it. But showing up and sharing the excitement with people who are also fans is something that's near and dear to our heart. And it's something that we're always constantly talking about. How can we make this more fun? What can we do that would make it this? And we stream. I don't know if Jordan talked to you about that. We also stream the game. And so you can find Jordan, you can find me, you can find Daniel, who's the one who streams the most and the longest.
Yeah.
And we love having fun. We love having fun with people who are loving the game. And we want to foster and create this community of positivity where people can come and show up and be like, this is fun, and leave out the toxic behavior. And those people kind of have to excuse themselves now at this point anyways, because there's enough people in the community where like, listen, you go hate somewhere else, Yeah. Here we're all like, play whoever you want to play however you want to play, enjoy the game. This is just a fun game, and the game is about cooperation and community, and you have to work together. And if that isn't a perfect blueprint for how we should be living as people anyways, then I don't know what is.
Yeah. Or even a bad guy become a hero, and that's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
Eliah Mountjoy, thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate this conversation.
Thanks for reaching out, and I'm glad we got a chance to finally make this happen. And I know we tried to do this a little bit in Los Angeles Comic-Con, but it was hectic there, so we made it happen.
I had no doubt. That's crazy. All right, we are back from that interview. Make sure you guys check out the full interview, also available on its standalone feed, where we have extended conversation about AI and how it's affecting acting and creating endeavors. It's very interesting. Okay, for the network as a whole, over at Challenge Accepted, just to the Gen V finale over there, and talked about Power Rangers with guest Becca, the Power Rangers 95 movie. Our last podcast, new episode is every Thursday. The merge is coming up next week. Distance Nerding, they're doing a Friday game night where they do sort of Jeopardy every Friday, and it's a lot of fun. They invite a lot of guests on for that. Phantom Portals is covering Forrest Gump and exploring how the simplicity of the character is actually a strength and something that we should be learning from. Disney Mom's Gone Wrong just did Finding Nemo, and talking about how like parenthood and stuff like that. You know how it is with them. And what is your recommendation for the week, Squeaks?
Yeah, my recommendation is something I already put out there, but it's going to be Narnia's the Magician's Nephew.
Oh yeah,
and this is the first Narnia book that will have its Netflix series coming out soon. I really enjoy how I guess I never really realized how powerful Aslan was until I read this.
He
book.
Literally sings Narnia into existence. Yeah.
Exactly. And I guess I never really realized how the author put in a lot of like biblical references into it. And that kind of threw me off, because when I'm reading,
especially
you're like,
that book is like the most like heavy-handed.
Yes,
this is Jesus.
Very. Yes. Because when things were happening, you're like, hold on, I know this. But also, there's little tie-ins to it. I'm just gonna say it anyway. Is that how the wardrobe became about? How the lamppost in Narnia became about? And to me, it just like it was one of those like, oh my gosh, like it hit me pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just was a sweet little, I guess, nod to something I knew but didn't know the creation of. Yeah,
it's a short novel too. If you guys want to jump in on
it, is.
I haven't read that thing in probably 15 years. I got to reread it, but I have the whole collection of all of them.
Nice.
They're real cheap on Amazon, guys. But man, yeah, I got to reread that because it was extremely high fantasy as well, or like high concept, where like the creation of worlds and like this like bringing in what would be the witch eventually, bringing in the witch from another. Like it was like a lot of very high. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to understand in some ways. So, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a good call out.
Yeah.
I was going to do a full review for Cloudward Ho, but I knew that this episode was going to be thick as hell, as you guys are listening and knowing that right now. But Cloudward Ho, Dementia 20 finished up their campaign on this thing, and it was some of the best storytelling. It encourages me as a dungeon master to try to deliver the best possible campaign to the players as possible. I will never be as good as Brendan Lee Mulligan, who DMs for this, but the storytelling in it is so good. And the idea that you could take Dungeons and Masters and put it in Dungeons and Dragons, and use that system in a world where it's all about steampunk and fantasy and like the I always think of it as like the bad guy from Up. Is the entire world is him. It was so fun, and all these blimp houses and blimp this and all kinds of cool guns and stuff. It was incredible. The storytelling was fantastic. And so if you guys are wanting to dive into the wider scope of Dungeons and Dragons and see the possibilities and some just fantastic storytelling in general, Cloudward Ho had just finished up its last episode this week and was a delight. I mean, that finale was, every bit of emotions were flying everywhere. And yeah, that was truly, truly amazing.
Nice. Sweet.
All right, that is going to be it for us this week. Make sure you guys tune in next week and drop us those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.